Dr. Riemenschneider, where is this disease centered?
This disease that we have seen is centered in the eastern part of Oklahoma. It's hard to say where the center of it is at, but as you know, most of our river valleys and moisture on the east side of the state, and that is where we have seen the trouble. However, the material could be hauled out, and we very possibly could see it in other areas.
What can the farmer do to treat sick animals?
Well, the treatment of the thing is to eliminate the source of trouble. The source of trouble is this water-damaged alfalfa hay, and to get them on a high level of feed and get them off of that, the high level feed to protect the liver and repair the liver damage. And if they get sufficiently ill, it would probably be necessary to call your veterinarian to give them further supportive treatment.
Can this disease affect humans through milk or beef, Doctor?
No, it won't affect humans through milk or beef. First of all, the disease gets sufficiently bad, it produces an icterus, a yellowing, and it would be picked up on the slaughterhouse floors. And secondly, the animals that get it, your dairy cows that get it, drop off on milk. So it reduces them down and takes them out of the milk stream commonly. And it is not transmissible to people. It's strictly a cow disease.
Want to prompt all of them to attain higher education regardless of what field they go in, but from a selfish standpoint we would like to get more trained electrical, chemical and mechanical engineers.
Mr. Bailey, do you feel a program like, or the tour that we've just had here in the Sylvania Plant, do you think that will help you in your teaching of science in school?
Yes, I definitely do.
In what way, sir?
Well, in the first place, it's going to show the relationship between the physical sciences and mathematics, all as an integrated series of work that can be applied industrially. Further, it's going to show the emphasis that must be placed on quality, cleanliness, and general cooperation among individuals throughout an entire plant or an entire institution in order that the work may be accomplished most efficiently.
What do you think is one of the main drawbacks in our high schools that keep teenagers from going on into the scientific field?
Principally a fear of the subject itself. They think it's hard. They think that it requires more work than some of the other subjects, I'm afraid. And on the whole, I believe that if we can eliminate that fear, then the natural curiosity of the student will assert itself and we'll be able to progress a little more satisfactorily.
What do you think is the main reason that teenagers like yourself do not go into the scientific field?
Well, I'm afraid it's just partially cowardice on their part, and sometimes it's been presented to them in such a way that it would make them somewhat afraid of it. It's something very suspicious and strange to them.
Why did you decide to go into the, excuse me, the scientific field?
Well, as I said, it's been very fascinating, and I want to, in my future life, to produce something of good to my fellow men and to help in any way I can for the betterment of society.
What particular details of the Oklahoma Highway Patrol will you study?
Well, during the time we're here, we will study the personnel and material requirements of the patrol, that is, the men needed and the equipment they'll have to do an effective job. We'll also study the management, how these men and material can be used most effectively. We'll also study and analyze the operations or the methods which they ought to use for maximum effectiveness. And we'll also take a look at the legislative requirements necessary to strengthen the position of the patrol as an effective means to reduce traffic accidents.
I suppose it's possible that other states have utilized the same type of check investigation, have they?
Yes, there's quite a number of states have. We've been actually in the business of providing consulting service for about 20 years.
What results did you gain from these checks in the other states?
Well, in the other states in which we've worked, in those cases which the state officials have conscientiously followed the recommendations which we have recommended in our reports, we've had some pretty excellent results in terms of accident reduction.